the reason the airplane flies is because we've got air moving from the front towards the back. And as the wings start to bend, the air starts to take on this horizontal direction away from the fuselage of the plane. So now you're because of the curvature, air is slipping out the sides of the wing, right? And what we do, if that happens, is we put these little things, ailerons, on the sides of the plane to keep that air from spilling over the top of the wing. And it's more important over the top of the wing than it is the bottom, because it's the top of the wing that's generating all the lift. So what you want to do is keep all your velocity going in the same direction as opposed to letting it slip out the side.
Not all of them have it, just like 25%.
Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of weird things on airplanes. So for instance, if you ever look out the side of your Boeing when you're flying around, I told you about the boundary layer, right? And you want to keep the boundary layer close to the wing. Well, sometimes it just separates because there's bumps or a rivet or something like this. So you got this wing, and you look out the window, and you can, shock waves are kind of difficult to see, but they look a little bit like mirages. Like, have you ever seen heat rising off the surface? It's kind of wavy. That's what shock waves sort of look like. They're kind of weird, glossy, gelatinous, air-looking thing. And sometimes you can see that on the wing, on the kind of near the leading edge of the wing. And so to prevent shocks from forming where we don't want them to happen, because they often separate our boundary layer, we put some airplanes, and I don't know why some of them have it and some of them don't, but they put these little extensions on the airplane. And they're actually shaped like this, right? So the wing is going horizontal like this, and they put these little extensions, but they're only like this big. But they're on there like this, and they're really to keep the air from moving up. They're trying to direct the air back down under the surface of the wing. And I don't know why some planes have them and some planes don't, but they're trying to fix the air. You know, it's sort of a afterthought, like, oh, we have a problem. Yeah.
Are these those little valves that open and close when if you sit right by the wing, they open when the airplane is taking off and then they close down?
You mean the flaps?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, well, so when you're taking off, you have relatively low speed. And at low speeds, you can afford a lot of camber, right? So at low speeds, what you're trying to do is generate lift. So you want to have this air directed downwards as much as possible. You want to throw it all down as much as you can, change as much of the air's direction as possible. So when you're flying low, you want a very long, not very long, but a cambered, nice, curvy wing. And then once you're flying and the speeds are higher, this begins to work against you. So you wish your wing was shorter and not as curvy. So what we do is...
Most people do have a very...
She's talking about. So what we do is after we take off, who am I looking at? After we take off, we take the wing, literally, which used to be long and curvy, and we retract it so that now we have a shorter wing that, because we're flying faster, can afford a shorter wing and keep that boundary layer stuck to the surface. Because the more surface you have, the more drag you are introducing to the boundary layer. And so eventually, if you had too long of a surface, the drag would work against the boundary layer, trip it, and it would separate, and then you got a problem. All right, well, thanks for coming. Hope you have some good luck. And I'll show you the videos later.